Guys, welcome to Bitcoin Daily, 9 a.m. Central European Time. On the dollar, we do the show every day, Monday to Friday. On the dollar, because we gotta know what's up Bitcoin, altcoins, and everything else. First of all, I'm sorry there is no NFT on the wall. I just remembered that, so I forgot to put an NFT on the wall. But there is that. You have the best intro music ever. Love it. Nice. How you guys doing? Hoping you're doing well. I know I haven't been around. You know, in the moment of crisis, you know, I was like, you know what? F them, I'm going away on a vacation. I wasn't on a vacation, but you know, I was feeling a little bit crappy, didn't want to do any kind of streams and stuff like that. You know, I just closed my computer, my everything, and just went into hiding for, you know, a couple of days. So yeah, but I think it's time, you know, to talk, you know, have a, you know, real talk about, you know, what's happening. You know, are we gonna go down? Are we gonna go up? Is this the move down? You know, is there any hope left and stuff like that, right? So I'm gonna tell you my take on what's happening and stuff like that, right? First of all, who's in the chat? The Central Plan, what's up? Edward, what's up? Nate, yo. Mladen is in the chat. Ben, good morning. Who more? Edward is buying at 14k. Bjornar, hey, how you doing, man? Cryptoras, how you doing? I wouldn't even consider buying for more than 8k. Gort, nice. Maybe I missed out, but looks promising, Edward says. Let's see who more is in the chat. Roland, it's warm and nice weather in Norway and Sweden today. That means we're going down and getting liquidated. Yeah, it's actually quite warm here in Norway. I don't know why, but my grass outside the house is getting green again. So I'm thinking like I need to pull out my, you know, lawnmower out again because, you know, it's getting green again. It's the middle of the, you know, November and grass is getting greener. So something's definitely not right over here. 3k is very possible. You have the best intro music. Thanks. Nice to have you back, mate. We are the blue dots. Sup roll. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the blue dots. So guys, let's have a little bit real talk first before we continue. And you know, because these last couple of days I have a little bit time to think about, you know, what I'm doing with the channel, what I'm doing with the, you know, with being influencer and stuff like that, you know, and it really makes me feel bad if I say that stuff is gonna go up and goes down. So in the long term, you know, it does benefit all the bearish, all the influencers that are bearish, because if I am saying we're gonna go down and we go down, like, yeah, I told you we're gonna go down, right? But if I say we're gonna go up and we're gonna go down, then everybody gonna blame you, right? So being a YouTuber, it does benefit more to be a, you know, bearish YouTuber than bullish YouTuber, because if you are bearish and price goes up, nobody cares. Oh man, but you said we're gonna go down, you know, you say you got up 4 million and you go up, you know, no big deal, right? But if you're a bullish YouTuber and price goes down, you know, people are kind of, hey man, what's up with this? You know, what's happening? The spring, yeah, we're gonna talk about the spring. So the way I see it right now, and you know, we've been talking about us being the blue balls, you know, this guy gotta go up, this is the bottom, whatever. The matter of fact is, guys, I don't know. You know, we read the charts, we try to predict where the price is gonna go, up, down, you know, and based on that, we are either bullish or bearish. But I have no, you know, crystal ball. 8 ball is not working out. The moons, you know, they actually did work out well, but you know, I don't have a plan how this is gonna play out, right? So even though I thought, like, I'm 100% in a, you know, even this move towards downside wrecked me as well as much as you guys, right? So it's not like I'm selling my stuff and I'm telling you something different. I'm not doing that, right? I'm just doing what I think is happening on the charts, and based on that, you know, some kind of, you know, probability towards upside, downside, you know, we are guessing. But you know, matter of fact is, I don't know. You know, I can assume something is gonna go up. I can assume something's gonna. I can assume there is probability towards one side or other side. I can assume, you know, some kind of market cycles are gonna play out this way or that way. But you know, at the end of the day, I don't think nobody knows. Yeah, nobody knows, and I don't know either. But it does make me feel bad when I am, you know, overly bullish, because if I'm, you know, too bullish, I know a lot of people, you know, could listen to me and, you know, make bad moves. So it kind of makes me feel bad about that. So I don't like that. I don't like that. That wasn't the reason why I was gone. It was other reasons, but you know, still. You know, these last couple of days I had a little bit of time to think about, and I'm gonna try to tone it down a little bit, not be overly bullish. So you know, every stream from now on, when we are, you know, pumping, I'm gonna be like, we're going down to 10k again. So from now on, I'm a bearish streamer. We are always going down to 10Ks, just so you know that. No, but I'm gonna give you some kind of hopium. But you know, it's always nicer to have a stream where we talk about us being the blue balls and not, you know, red balls or whatever, right? So there is that. You know, it does give people some kind of hopium. We are at the bottom, hopefully highly weekly close. So we're gonna talk about that. There has been a lot to talk whether this is the spring or not. Now, if this was to be spring on a daily time frame, I wouldn't expect this spring to go all the way down there. Now it did go all the way down there. It can still bounce towards upside. I'm gonna show you, you know, why it can actually do that. This can definitely be a spring towards the upside, but I was expecting a smaller spring down here, maybe something, you know, just barely below down here, but this actually went 10% down here. I don't know if you remember, maybe it was, you know, 3-4 days ago, maybe a little bit more than that, we talked about this bottom down here, right? And I said that the liquidity is below this level down here. So if you get a spring, it might be that we might, you know, wick down below. I did not expect the dump down to 15.5k. I gotta be honest with you guys. I did not expect this move towards downside. Weekly spring. Yeah, it might be weekly spring. That's very probable. I did not expect, oh, you know, this big move down to 15k, you know, something like 70k below 70, 16 something. Yeah, that was definitely in the books, because you gotta understand, when you get these kind of wicks that may happen, and then you have a lot of consolidation above the previous week, oftentimes, you know, a lot of traders have been taught since, you know, they have been, you know, 2 years old, yeah, put your stop loss right below the last week. So right now, a lot of people who had, you know, any kind of long positions up here and stuff like that got stopped out, got liquidated. There has been a lot of liquidations going on. So the way I see it, this move up here, sideways move up here, is pretty much done. So one of the two things is going to happen. Either we're going to continue up here, fail, and continue going towards downside toward lower levels, or we're going to get a spring towards upside. And guys, again, I do not know. I would like to be more bullish than bearish, and I'm going to show you some bullish, you know, scenarios, but you gotta know that we are in a little bit different time when it comes, you know, in the world today. It's not like 2018 all over again or whatever, right? It's a little bit different. We assume that, you know, stuff might, you know, the whole world, financial, you know, banks might actually drop down like they did in 2008. How will Bitcoin survive a 2008 crash? Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows really. And right now, from everything we can see, it is very correlated with, you know, markets and the DXY and everything else. We can also look at the DXY. But if something like that should happen, you know, because you saw what happened right now with FTX, right? FTX dropped down. You know, insolvency crisis. I thought that there was some kind of hoping that it might actually, you know, go up. I even made a video about FTX, but it got wrecked. It got wrecked. Liquidated. Alameda Research got wrecked. You know, they got wrecked. And right now, on next one on the list looks like it's a BlockFi. Whether the BlockFi is gonna push down, you know, Bitcoin price or not, I do not know. But what we can assume from these crises is that Bitcoin and crypto is not immune to the crisis. So if there is a big crisis in you know, world generally, Bitcoin and crypto markets will definitely be affected as well. So will this go lower? I don't know. I'm gonna show you some bullish, you know, hopiums towards upside, but you gotta know that can we go drop down lower? Definitely can. Is this a spring and we can go higher? We can, but I do not know. That's what I'm trying to say. I do not know. I would like to believe that we are the blue balls. I would like to believe that this is the bottom. I would like to believe that it's not going to go down to 10k, but it can go down to 10k. We just saw that it went down to 15. I did not think that it was going to go down to 15k, and there was several reasons for that. We went down to 15k. And, you know, saying right now that it's not going to go down to 11k or 10k, we can still go down to 10k or 11k. It's a failed spring. We're going to see that, you know, we can still go down lower. So we're going to look at it. We're also going to look at a little bit about what's happening up here on the 4-hourly. This might actually be bullish, but, you know, there has been these kind of cases where this move up here did not happen and actually went down. I don't know. I think actually we talked about this, you know, a couple of days ago as well. But there has definitely the real metal start 22nd of November. We're gonna see that, but there has definitely been big moves on when it comes to, for example, stock market. Nasdaq up here did you know, nice move up here on, you know, 7-8% towards the upside. The Dow Jones made, you know, broke the resistance up here towards the upside, and there is no divergences or anything like that. S&P creating higher high up here, still in this bigger wedge up here, but still, you know, pumping towards the upside. And of course our, you know, beloved DXY that we've been following for so long, it's finally breaking everything towards downside. So right now we see that you know, DXY is breaking towards downside, stock market is going up, Bitcoin did a meltdown towards downside towards 15k. Right now, you know, we are hoping that spring is gonna save us. And I think, you know, in those kind of terms, that spring might just happen, because this looks like, you know, this move looks like, you know, this move up here looks like it failed right now. It might have a retest or something like that, but you know, eventually it might, you know, continue lower or lower towards downside. If this was a failure, and then you know, if this is a spring towards the upside, that can also be the case. You know, just like we have a spring right now on Bitcoin, maybe, perhaps, hopefully, you know, hopium. This might also be a spring, you know, where it just gets back in and then rushes through everything. So, you know, this big move towards upside on DXY is gonna, you know, wreck everything. Like 14% move towards upside is gonna wreck everything if that happens. So, you know, the spring needs to be taken into consideration as well. Not only Bitcoin, but also in other coins as well. DXY can definitely have a, you know. So we are assuming this is gonna continue going down, but we actually do not know, right? We don't know. So this can actually continue, you know, have a spring and continue going up. But from everything we can see right now, you know, we are breaking stuff towards upside up here, and it does look like it is very nice moves for the stock markets now that DXY is going up. So based on that, we do believe that this might be some kind of spring. Now, I won't say this, you know, daily spring. Daily spring comes something like down here, and then it bounces towards upside. But this actually went down below, you know, to 15.5 or something like that, right? It dumped down big time towards downside. So it might be a weekly spring, right? It might be a weekly spring up here. If you look at a weekly time frame over here, this definitely might, you know, up here be a spring and then, you know, go towards the upside. But we still need, you know, it's unconfirmed spring. Right now it needs to show, you know, it needs to show pump, it needs to show, you know, momentum, it needs to, you know, start climbing up here. If you look at some kind of indicators up here when it comes to the spring effect up here, you'll see that, you know, the price over here is going towards downside, and price up here is going slightly towards upside. Slightly towards upside, and this is actually divergence. But when the price was actually down here, there was no divergence whatsoever, right? There was no divergence whatsoever. And you know, if it goes again towards downside down here, there will be no divergence. It can just continue dumping again on the downside. But there are definitely some nice lines when it comes to, you know, this being the spring. One of the nice lines is something like this over here, give or take. This on the weekly time frame, 2-day time frame, it looks something like this up here. It might be, you know, that's still holding some levels up here, maybe down all the way down there. Let me see up here, something like this maybe. Yeah, look at this. This is very nice, right? There are definitely some kind of hopium lines up here that shows that this might be, you know, the bottom for right now. You know, this, you know, there are 3 weeks up here, and then you got this line up here, something like this up here. I think use something like this. So we are definitely in some kind of support levels up here because of these, you know, trend lines, but it's still a little bit too early. Now, I did do some looks on the inverse chart up here. Inverse chart, let me just remove everything up here. Inverse chart does look very nice. Now, we have been watching this trend line over here, and the trend line got broken and then, you know, moved back inside up here. But if you look at it inversely up here, so on the chart, you would probably draw a trend line something like this up here. This is the first move, right? And you'll see up here, because this week and then first week up here, this is the first week up here, and then the second week up here is over here. But you can see up here that it is kind of, you know, losing steam up here right now. First to break this steam, so right now it's still, you know, it's kind of losing steam up here. It's coming to some kind of top up here. But there is also, you know, another one of these lines down here that I would actually draw, and you can see up here that we are still in some kind of downtrend over here, and still not broken. So, you know, if you're gonna, you know, have a nice rally towards the upside, I think this, you know, spring needs to get above something like 25k, you know, and this move gotta get above 25k. So I want to say that we are out of the dump or anything like that until we are back above this line again. Maybe we're gonna do something like this down here and then, you know, break here around next March, you know, towards something, or we're gonna just, you know, fail and go towards downside. But we are still, overall, we are still in this, you know, major downtrend up here. So even though we have been looking at this move up here and saying that, you know, this looks broken, and it's, you know, and then we also been looking at this move over here and saying that, you know, this looks broken towards the upside, it looks nice, we still got this big dump towards the downside. There must be several reasons for that. It might be trying just, you know, to get new, what are you gonna say, get new get new move towards downside. Let me just pull something like this up here. Yeah, something like this. So I don't know if you remember as well, before we talked about, let me just go back up here. We talked about these falling wedges and how these, you know, how these, sorry, there was it. So something like this. Now forget about it. Let's go to the big charts up here. So let's continue talking about spring up here. If you remember 2014, right, there was a big spring down here, right? There was a big spring, and this is on the weekly time frame. You can see how up here, I mean, first week, you know, we pulled back to these levels, and then, you know, next week we just managed to stay there, and then, you know, 2 more weeks up and down, 2 more weeks sideways, and then we, you know, had a move towards the upside. Now this is a spring on the weekly time frame. Just like you can have a spring on a daily time frame, you can have a spring on a weekly time frame as well. And if you go, you know, zoom in on the daily time frame up here, you'll see how this actually happened. And this dumped down big time once, you know, it had a nice move up here towards the upside, then went down, dumped big time below the levels up here. It never got actually down here, but it did dump below these levels over here, pulled back, then dump another move towards downside. Now this was also a big move towards downside up here. This was also, you know, 22 move towards the downside. It did recover like 20% up, and it did another move, you know, towards downside again, you know, 16% before it did recover. So are we gonna see something like this up here on Bitcoin? You know, double bottom down there with some kind of, you know, weekly, you know, spring effect towards downside? It kind of depends. It kind of depends. The matter of fact is, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I try to be, you know, objective and try to be, you know, more bullish than bearish, you know, because you know, people like that. But you know, I'm trying to be realistic as well. So will this go down to, you know, 10K? I don't know. But, and does this actually look bad? It does, you know, technically this kind of stuff, when this kind of stuff happens, it's really hard being, you know, overly bullish, because we are breaking major support levels. We are breaking major support levels, but with any kind of break of any kind of level, and this matters also on the small time frames, you always wait for the next candle to see if the next candle will actually come back up. So if you have been looking at this on the 5-minute time frame, you know, because you get these fake outs, these springs on any kind of time frame, right? So if you got some kind of, you know, pattern up here, you know, you go below something, and on a 5-minute time frame it breaks down, you still wait for some kind of retest to see if this retest will actually manage to get back up again. So the retest is very important, right? So what I would say, you know, what's happening right now is this retest is trying to get back above these levels, right? It's trying to get back above, you know, 18 point something up here, trying to get back up here. And if it does manage that, that shows bullishness in the chart. That means we are, you know, strongly bullish and so forth, so forth. But if it does fail, if you know, the spring fails, because spring can do fail, and oftentimes do, and we go back below something like 15K levels, I would be, you know, total distress, and you know, that would actually be very, very bad for crypto, the way I see it. Also, when you look at on big time frames up here, when it comes to, you know, the indicators, weekly is not that extended. It's oversold, but it's normally oversold, and my own indicator is not that oversold. So we are not like we are oversold on the weekly time frame that we cannot drop. We can actually drop. We can actually drop big time, and that's what I'm you know. So there is hopium. The spring is the hopium, the lines are the hopium. There is, I'm going to show you also more hopium up here. Let me go to the, you know, this, let me show you the MACD up here for a second. You know, this is a MACD line, and if you can see here MACD, how it played out before. So in 2014, I've been saying a lot of time that, you know, this time might be that we are, you know, this bottom is like 2014, but you can see here when we went up and went down, we went with a blue line below the zero line, but it was already losing momentum towards the upside. So, you know, it was already curving towards the upside. So all of this bottom up here was creating, you know, while we are getting very, very strongly bearish, but we managed to, you know, pull up and, you know, continue towards the upside, which was very nice. And the same thing, almost the same thing is happening right now. We don't know how this is gonna play out, but right now we are below the zero line, which is actually quite bad. You know, the signal line up here is not yet there, but we are already kind of losing momentum. So the question is right now, is this already, you know, some kind of reversal happening up here where we're gonna go towards the upside or not? This on the monthly time frame. So these are very, very big moves are happening, and every time previously that this has happened, you know, it has played out well. So you can see here, once we get into this, you know, big momentum towards downside, as soon as it start turning around, that's some kind of pivot point, right? And over here we went into some kind of, you know, some kind of move towards downside. As soon as it start, you know, turning around, that was some kind of pivot point, right? And even down here in the 2014, as soon it was going towards downside, but as soon as it started turning around, it was some kind of pivot point, right? So it is very bearish times. There is a lot of talk about stuff like that, but you know, if you're gonna just look at technicals, like it is going down and right now it's turning around, so it is some kind of pivot point being created down here as well. There is hopium, guys. Is it a spring? Is it not a spring? That's the big questions. We need to see how this. I'm gonna show you one last thing on the small time frames up here. So this pattern over here that's right now happening on the 4-hourly, I would like this actually to explode above the 20 moving average towards the upside. Oftentimes these V-shape or waterfall moves go something like this. They go down, they spring up, then they do this shaky up here, and then they continue towards the upside. But if they do fail, they might show weakness in the price. So what I'm watching right now on the small time frames to see the next move, whether this is gonna be good or bad. Sometimes it does, this move up here and right back up again. It's hard to say what's gonna do, but best case scenario, it's holding the 10 moving average up here, curving up here, getting above the 20 moving average, and then exploding towards the upside. That's like the best case scenario. The second best case scenario is having a slight move towards downside, not not a big move, slight move towards downside, and then immediately coming right back up again. That's second best play out that can play out. And the third and the worst case scenario is just breaks down, fail to get back up again, and just continues dumping on the downside. So right now over here, when it comes to the 4-hourly time frame, I think we are getting to some kind of very important levels that needs to be taken into consideration right now, and how this is going to play out, because these two moving averages up here right now squeezing the price up here. There's probably some kind of triangle, some kind of pattern up here happening, but these moves are actually squeezing the price right now. So the price will actually break towards the upside up here or towards the downside. Best case, breaks towards the upside, we moon, everything is nice and dandy. Worst case scenario, we do another one of these moves towards the downside, then towards the upside, hopefully. But again, I do not know whether we are the blue balls, guys. I do not know whether the spring is gonna be the spring. And you hear what's happening with what happened with the FTX and Alameda, and what right now BlockFi is doing. Looks like it's going mad again. Will they use BlockFi as a FUD again to push the price even more down? I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's nowhere near finished, but the major news has played out. So blue balls are dead. Gort, we should have all been listening to Gort. See, being bearish is a good thing. People might laugh at you and you go up and nobody cares, but being bearish is more bullish. So what I'm gonna say up here, if we fail up here, this move towards the upside right now, for whatever reason, I'm gonna assume this is gonna go into some kind of consolidation up here and continue towards the downside, because it does look bad. We are below very important, crucial, support levels down here. If we fail to get back above 18.5 in these moving averages up here towards the upside, I would say this, this looks terrible. This looks terrible. So you're feeling bad because of FTX crashed the market, S&P going up and DXY going down, and we had bad news. So that's why that's the spring. No, I don't feel bad about it. I feel bad about when it comes to overly hyping. I didn't overly hype. I am being too hopious on the market. But there are other reasons why I didn't stream these last couple of days. But I had time to think, so I do feel a little bit bad, for being overly bullish. There's nothing wrong with being bearish in a downtrend. Yeah, there is nothing wrong. So that said, is it bad? It's not good, Right now we are living on the hopium that this is a spring. If it's a spring, it's gonna be nice. But what if spring fails, guys? What if spring fails? What if DXY has a spring as well, and springs right back inside up here? That's what kind of worries me over here, because if DXY kind of springs right back up here again, and the market up here gets a little bit too bullish, because this actually Nasdaq pumped like 7% up here, but it is pumping very nicely. So you've been just looking at these, you know, it creates some kind of double bottom up here, you know, it's coming down to some kind of bottom up here, and bullish engulfing candle up here on the weekly time frame above 10 moving average above the resistance up here, especially in the next 10-11 hours. If this holds up here, it's going to be very nice. Also the S&P the Dow Jones is, you know, breaking certain resistance at the upside as well. So let me see up here if there is any kind of divergence up here. Yeah, there is no divergence on the charts as well. Like everything looks, technically everything looks bullish. Technically everything looks bullish, but will, you know, continue being bullish in the long run? I don't know, guys. I don't know. My best hope right now, my best hope right now is this move up here continues towards the upside. So there is that. So I don't know. I don't think, you know, being a, you know, YouTuber is a job for me. So I was thinking, you know, maybe I should do something else, guys. Because, you know, when price is going, you know, when price is going up, nobody cares, right? Everybody's a hero when price is going up. Now, when price is going down, that's when problems start, you know, piling up. So there is that. Was there anything else I wanted to, you know, chat about? Yeah, there are some other coins that did not dump that much, like Dogecoin. Yes, it did go up, you know, big time towards downside. Right now it's coming back down to the support area up here, right? Dogecoin actually is still holding the bottom down here. It did go down to the support, but you know, it's bouncing off support, so technically Dogecoin doesn't look that bad. The same thing goes for Binance Coin. Where is the Binance Coin? Is down here somewhere. Binance Coin as well did pump up, go down to the support levels, still holding above support levels. The bottom down here was at 200. Right now it's sitting at 288. You know, everybody buying down here is still in profit, some kind of profit up there, right? So there are definitely good coins and bad coins. I don't know what kind of bad coins there are, but XRP went down to the bottom down here. It did not go below the bottom. Let me see other coins. FTT is totally wrecked right now. I don't know what's happening with this thing over here. Glimmer up here went below, you know, previous lows almost. Herbar, you see up here, you know, there are good coins and bad coins. Like good coins, they kind of just bleed down, and in bull run they have nice moves, you know. But very bullish coins, like I think like Matic is stupidly bullish. I don't know why. And you see up here, number one, when it made the first move towards the upside, it held, you know, higher highs up here. Number second, after this dump up here, it just pre-pumped and just moved back to the support levels. So there are definitely coins that are looking better than other coins. Bitcoin is not actually one of those coins, but you know, there's that. No, I could not know that FTX is gonna crash, but there was, you know, also the moon stuff is bothering me a little bit. There was a red moon, and day before that I was reading that on eclipses on the red moon are usually dump days, and I was sitting like, should I, you know, probably sell it and not sell anything like that. So, you know, there is a couple of stuff that, you know, bothers me. So there's that. So again, guys, I do not know whether we are the blue balls or not. I do hope that we are the blue balls. My you know, the hope in me speaks that we are the blue balls. FTT will pump now. So, you know, maybe, and you know, usually oftentimes when I'm very extremely bearish, like down here, we pump. So maybe we're gonna pump right now, you know, when I'm overly extremely bearish. So there is that, guys. There is that, guys. And again, guys, the world is a different, you know, era right now. Bitcoin does follow stock markets. If something happens with the banks and stuff like that, like, you gotta know that stuff, you know, might be bad. If this thing reclaims, it will go bananas, and I will FOMO in. Long-term hold is fantastic opportunities. How long do we have time? How long time do we have? A lot of other will too. Solana buy sell. I won't, you know, I cannot tell you what to buy to sell. Like, yeah, you understand that, right? OnlyFans. Yeah, we're gonna start OnlyFans. So there's that, guys. I'm also gonna reconsider what I'm gonna do with the channel, because I don't know, maybe just something, you know, sideways trading or something like that. Never telling people whether I think it's gonna go up or it's gonna go down. I don't see any, you know, value in that. 15.750. Damn. 15.750, that's low, man. Mladen always buys the bottoms. Mladen's so good at that. Mladen, if you start a channel, I'm gonna shield your channel and make you big. Throne founder Justin Sun says he's ready to provide billions to help FTX. Bloomberg reports. Is there a help coming from Tron for the FTX? I don't know. How the FTX saga will, you know, play out, I do not know. The hopium when it comes to the charts and FTM saga is that the FTM will not break. I didn't think that FTM will break towards the downside. I thought it might go, you know, down to the bottom or something like that, bounce and, you know, go towards the upside. I didn't know actually how bad it was until, you know, all the news came out, but it was quite bad. And you know, guys, I oftentimes, you know, shill Qcoin, you know, 20% off on gems. Again, no exchange is legit, guys. Whether that's Binance, FTX, Qcoin, Coinbase, or anything like that, everything can go down. Everything can lock your funds. And like they say, you know, not your coin, not your keys, not your coins. You gotta understand that, right? You gotta understand that, you know, diversifying over several exchanges on your, you know, cold wallet, stuff like that. That's the way to go if you want to keep your money safe. When FUD, remember last time, like previous 10 times when there was, you know, Tether FUD, I did not care about that. But the last time when there was Tether FUD, I actually changed my money from Tether into euros. You remember when Luna's crashing and stablecoins were crashing towards downside? And I was thinking like, why take the risk? I mean, it doesn't cost me almost anything to, you know, switch from Tether to euros or something like that, or dollars, and, you know, just keep them in something else than Tether if Tether should crash. So, you know, if you see something coming up, it's okay to be a little bit on the pessimistic side of, you know, not being too overly optimistic, being a little bit pessimistic and trying to save yourself, right? Heard rumors. Yeah, cool search. I'm looking to buy rate channel 0.050. So there is the FTT pumps. I don't know whether it's gonna pump, what's gonna happen. Like there is definitely gonna be a lot of you know, trading when it comes to FTT coin. You know, people are gonna, you know, pump it, dump it, you know, because right now the moves up here are, you know, giant moves towards ups and downs. Okay, it's not gonna go 200% down, but you know, it's giant moves towards upside. You know, even slight moves towards upside, they are giant moves. So there are definitely traders right now looking at FTX coin and what's gonna happen there. They're also looking definitely at Solana, because Solana is also very volatile. So anything that's very volatile right now, like Solana, FTX, BNB, anything that has anything to do with these, you know, coins that are dumping. What is happening with Tether? Why is depegging? I don't know why it's depegging, but last time when I actually sold, not this time, but last time I actually sold my Tether to buy something else, just not be having any kind of risk towards Tether. And last time it depegged is because a violent, you know, crypto moves can affect, you know, depegging and stuff like that, right? That does happen. If you look in the history of Tether, you know, how it's moving, and you look at these big moves towards upside and downside, it does move a little bit up and down. So whether it's actually, you know, depegging or not, or whether this is a FUD or not, I do not know. But there is that. Right, guys? Bitcoin right now 1.2%, still going into this, you know, 4-hourly, and this is the only thing that I'm watching right now. Will this actually break towards the upside? I've been watching in a 1-hourly time frame. It's kind of just consolidating up here right now. It's a little bit hard to say. There is, you know, some kind of, you know, might be up here, some kind of, actually this line up here, something like this. It went a little bit below. It looks like it wants to break, or wants to break a little bit towards the downside. I don't know what's gonna do, you know. So I'm giving it still a little bit chance. I'm hoping this is for some reason will just explode towards the upside, but I think that's a little bit hopium, at least there right now. Okay, guys, that's all what I want to say. There will be no live stream, you know, during the weekends, and I'm a little bit unsure how active I'm gonna be. But you know, take care, guys. You know, no exchange is foolproof safe. Even Coinbase and Binance can go down for whatever reason. If you know, banks tomorrow crash, Bitcoin is probably gonna crash as well. Can we go down to 10K? Definitely. Can we go lower than 10K? I don't know, guys. And one thing I actually thought about these last 2 days, like a lot of these coins, they don't have any income. Like, sure, chains do have income because they provide, you know, gas fees and stuff like that, and they have income and they make money. But a lot of these coins don't have any income, right? And if you don't have any income, does this really value your company to a couple of, you know, $1 billion or something like that? You gotta think about stuff like that as well. Take a week off. Staking. Yeah, they do have staking, but you see what's happening with these staking coins. So you're staking, you're getting, and you know, they're printing more coins to give you the more, you know, staked coins, but they don't have actually, you know, It could be some kind of Ponzi, kind of, setup where, they get new users to, give you your stake of the money and stuff like that. I don't know how the, staking is working, but 20, 30, 40% stakes, you gotta know something's not right there, right? It just kind of, seems reasonable, getting 40% on something, it's a little bit, excessive. You understand? When some stuff is too good to be right, it probably is. That said, I won't say much about staking and these kind of currencies, but what I want to say is, if the company behind the coin, if the company is not making money, you gotta ask yourself, is it really worth this much? It might pump during the bull market, and when everything is hype and everything is buying everything like crazy, then they don't ask for any kind of financial report. They only ask for what kind of logo it has, what kind of meme it has. In those kind of spaces anything can pump. But when it gets into this kind of situation, people often ask, but is this company any good? Will it survive? Will it make money? Because at the end of the day, all the companies need to make money one way or the other way, right? So there is that. The companies that make money, they're gonna probably continue making money and survive. Probably, maybe, hopefully. Guys, whether we are the blue balls or not, I do not know. Hopefully we are. Hopefully this is a spring. Can it go lower than 15k? I think it might go lower than 15k. Something more should happen. If the block fighting, if this fails right now, to climb back up here, if it fails this double bottom down up here, if it fails some kind of, and it starts going below again 15.5, something like that, I would assume that it is very bad. We've been talking about that there is liquidity down here to be gotten. And I thought it was going to go just below this previous week down here, a little bit up here, but it went down all the way down to 15.8 or something like 50.6. So liquidity is definitely gotten. So if this goes below the liquidity requirements, even lower towards downside, the question is how low it's going to go, where is heading to, and why, right? So people are also talking about this 85% move towards downside. There is other reasons why we should be going down there, right? But what is the 85% move towards downside? 85% move is something like 10k or something like that down here, right? So yeah, are we gonna do 85% just because we did it every other time? Maybe, I don't know. Hopefully it is the spring, hopefully the blue balls, but I don't know. Be sure to have your money safe. Don't because in these bearish times, a lot of things goes bankrupt and stuff like that. Hope you do okay, guys. Hope you do okay. And don't listen to some YouTuber just because he's been too bullish. That's what I'm trying to say. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you around in a couple of days. Bye bye. Bitcoin is not going lower, only up from here. Okay, guys, see you around. Bye bye.